Morning, sun, blaring alarm clock. Peter Parker groaned, reaching for the snooze button, but his hand stuck. To the ceiling? Whoa! He yelped, dangling upside down. How did that happen? He fell, landing in a heap on the floor. Okay, that was weird, he muttered, rubbing his head. He stumbled out of bed, still groggy. Coffee was definitely needed. He poured a cup, took a sip, and reached for his phone to check the news. But instead of grabbing his phone, a white string shot out from his wrist, sticking to it. What the? He pulled his hand back, the phone flying across the room with a loud thud. He stared at his hand. Where did that come from? And what was that sticky stuff? It looked familiar, but he couldn't place it. This morning was already weirder than usual, and that was saying something for a guy like Peter Parker. Later that day, Peter found himself staring at his reflection in a store window. He was trying to make sense of this bizarre morning. He felt different, stronger, somehow. As he pushed himself off the window, his hand slipped. He braced himself for impact, but instead of crashing to the sidewalk, he found himself clinging to the glass, vertically. People pointed and gasped. "Look, it's Spider-Man!" one shouted. Peter's heart skipped a beat. Spider-Man? Why did that name sound familiar? And more importantly, why was he stuck to a window like a human fly? He quickly crawled to the rooftop, away from the gawking crowd below. He needed answers. This whole sticking to things business was out of control. And why did people keep calling him Spider-Man? Was it the sticky stuff? He had to get to the bottom of this. Back in his apartment, Peter rummaged through his closet, hoping to find something, anything, that could explain this weirdness. That's when he saw it. A red and blue suit, hidden in the back corner. He pulled it out, examining the strange fabric and the mask with large white eyes. It looked vaguely familiar. He slipped it on, a strange tingling sensation washing over him. He stood there for a moment, staring at himself in the mirror. Suddenly, flashes of images flooded his mind. Skyscrapers, a man in a metal suit, a giant green fist, and a woman with fiery red hair. Who were these people? And why did he feel a strange connection to them? The images were overwhelming, making his head spin. He tore off the mask, gasping for air. Something was happening to him, something big, and he didn't know what to do about it. He had to figure out who he was. And who was this Spider-Man everyone kept talking about? Days turned into a blur of confusion and accidental web slinging. He was like a walking disaster zone, tripping over his own feet one minute and scaling a building the next. Yet, with every strange encounter, with every flash of memory, a sense of responsibility began to bloom in his chest. He might not remember who he was, but he knew one thing. These powers weren't just for him. He saw a news report of a bank robbery in progress. He hesitated, unsure of what to do. The images flashed again. The man in the metal suit, the woman with fiery hair, their faces filled with a determined courage. He knew what he had to do. Taking a deep breath, he pulled on the mask. "Okay, Spider-Man," he whispered to himself. "Let's do this." He may not remember everything, but he was starting to remember who he was meant to be. And that was a start.